You're listening to a special AI-powered training session generated based on my original research and training documents. While the voices you are about to hear are AI-generated, the insights come directly from my verified material.
Welcome to the Epoch Zero Show. Today, we are unpacking Module 1.5.1, Current Landscape, January 2026, and Future Outlook. We're going to look at the world as it stands today and what it means for anyone leading an AI team.
This is the core tension for every applied AI leader right now. Compliance, following the rules, is just the cost of entry. It's the price of admission. But alignment, that's the frontier. That's where you're going to win. We have to master both.
We'll break this down into 6 parts. We start with the external forces, the new laws that are shaping our work. Then we'll look inward at how companies are changing their structures and their budgets. And we'll finish right at the technical edge, where the work itself is being redefined.
First stop, the European Union. The AI Act is, without a doubt, the most comprehensive regulatory framework on the planet. And let's be clear, this isn't a future proposal. It is the law.
You need to pay very close attention to this timeline. As of right now, January 2026, the bans on things like social scoring are already active. And even more importantly, the obligations for general-purpose AI models, what we all call foundation models, are also in effect. The clock has already started.
Now, this next date is the critical one. High-risk systems, think healthcare, finance, anything that's critical infrastructure, they all face a deadline for full conformity assessments. That deadline is August 2nd, 2026. There's really no more time to wait.
And the penalties, well, they are severe. That number, 7%, that represents the maximum fine, and it's calculated against a company's total, global revenue. This is not a cost of doing business.
You can see the fines are tiered. A minor infraction can cost you millions, but a severe violation can hit 35 million euros, or that 7% figure, whichever is higher. This changes the game completely. Compliance is no longer a legal checklist, it's a question of corporate solvency.
All right, let's cross the Atlantic. The United States has taken a fundamentally different path. There is no single, all-encompassing law. Instead, you have to navigate a complex and, frankly, growing patchwork of rules.
The difference is simple, but it's profound. The EU built a horizontal framework, one law that covers every sector. The US is building vertically. You have different rules for finance, different rules for healthcare, and so on. The result is a much more fragmented landscape.
So at the federal level, you have Executive Order 141110, which mandates safety testing for the big frontier models. Below that, you have agencies like the FDA and the SEC making their own rules. And then you have the states, with California always leading the charge. You're not tracking one target, you are tracking dozens.
So, with all that pressure from the outside, how is the enterprise responding on the inside? Well, the changes aren't just in the engineering department. They're structural. And they're financial.
The numbers here tell the whole story. In just 3 years, the share of Fortune 500 companies with dedicated AI governance committees has exploded, from about a third to over 80%. This is a massive structural shift, and it's a direct response to this new class of risk.
And the money is following the risk. Right now, we're seeing up to 30% of an AI project's budget getting earmarked purely for compliance, documentation, and auditing. This is essentially a new, significant tax on innovation. Compliance has a very real price tag.
Okay, let's shift from governance to a core technical problem. Our models are incredibly hungry for data, often more than we can find in the real world. So the obvious solution is to use AI to generate more data. But while this solves the scarcity problem, it creates a very dangerous paradox. The technical term for this failure mode is model collapse, and you must understand it. When a model is trained recursively on the synthetic output of other models, generation after generation, it begins to forget. It loses its connection to the ground truth of real human data.
The process is insidious. Think of it like making a photocopy of a photocopy. Each new copy gets a little bit blurrier, a little less distinct. After enough cycles, the original image is just lost. The model's knowledge doesn't just break, it evaporates. This is a devastating risk.
And that risk brings us to the most important technical shift in our field. For the last decade, the game was all about pre-training, just building bigger and bigger models. That game has changed. The focus now is on what happens after the model is trained. It is a fundamental shift from raw power to refined control.
Techniques like reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF, and direct preference optimization, or DPO. These are the new standards. This is how we steer these powerful systems. It's how we make them safer, more reliable. This is the new discipline of AI engineering. And let's be absolutely clear about this. This is what transforms a powerful research tool into a reliable commercial product. It is the very heart of modern AI engineering.
So, let's bring it all together. The regulatory world is a minefield. The corporate response is getting expensive, and the technical frontier has moved towards safety and alignment. What does this all mean for you as a leader?
It really comes down to this statement. The era of unconstrained experimentation is over. That old move fast and break things idea is finished. We are now in the era of disciplined engineering, of accountability, reliability, and compliance by design. So I'll leave you with this one last question to reflect on. Is your organization built for compliance, or is it engineered for leadership? The first is about defense, just staying in the game. The second is about offense. It's about how you win. You have to decide which game you're playing.